Oh, good. Uh-oh. Where it won't, do I just hit the space bar to switch? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so yes, I love that. I love that video. We put that promo video together a couple years ago. And really, what I really like about it is I love to hear from the littles, obviously. But that little girl, Rosie, I love her. She's in one of our northern New Mexico matches. But what she says, you know, I do things with her that I don't have time to do with my mom, you know? And that's like what I want everyone to understand is, look at us. I mean, all of us, we're all busy women in here, right? And I say all the time, I wish I'd known about Big Brothers Big Sisters when I was a single mom and my son was little, because I didn't know about it. You know, nobody at a school, they were calling me about behavior problems or, you know, Drew this, Drew that, but never ever gave me any options like this. And I would have really loved if he could have had a mentor, and I think it would have changed his life, you know? So anyway, our mission is to, like I said, to create and sustain one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. We think that all youth should achieve their full potential. You know, not just some, not just the privileged kids, not just the kids that, you know, don't have any behavior issues, or the kids that parents are still married or anything like that. All kids should be able to achieve their full potential. I don't know, some of you may recognize Miss Tanya. She was Tanya Martinez. She was a member of, I tried to personalize this with some people that I know are affiliated with the association, but so Tanya was a big for a long time. She was a great big. She was a great member of this association. We were really sad to see her go, but she was wonderful. But at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we serve children between the ages of 5 and 18. So we can enroll a child, you know, we can get a child referred before their 5th birthday, but we can't enroll them until they're 5 years old. And then if they are still in school at 18, like their senior year, they can stay in the program until they graduate. But upon graduation, they age out of our program. That's not to say that they don't still maintain their relationship with their big, you know, most do. Most have very long-standing relationships. We serve only about right now 650 kids in the whole state of our region. Albuquerque probably has another 300 or 400. So not enough right now. We only have 1 match in Deming, 12 in Grant County, and 80 in Doñana County. Our numbers went down substantially, as you can imagine, during COVID, because we get most of our referrals from the schools, and kids weren't going to school. So we didn't get referrals. Teachers couldn't like really refer to us via Zoom relationship. So we are picking up. We have great relationships going with the schools. Lots of different programs starting up now. So, oh, oops. This is Vanessa. She was our big of the year, and we honored her at a basketball game. Don't like it was the last basketball game, but it was awesome. Really special at the time. But anyway, kids that are in our program. So this, like, we've been around more than 100 years. We're the longest running one-to-one mentoring program in the nation. And we know that our program works. And how do we know that? Because we go back and we ask how we follow up, even if they're still not in our program. We keep up with the kids in our program. We keep up with the people that have been in our program. Kids that are in our program are 90%. Oh, can I move this? Less or more likely to do well in school, 46% less likely to do drugs, 89% less likely to make bad decisions. That's better than most adults. 91% of littles report feeling better about themselves. 3 out of 4 littles plan to enroll in college. That is humongous. So yeah, I mean, we speak for ourselves with we're proven. And like I said, I'm very passionate about that. We have 3 different types of programs that we offer if you're interested in being a big. Community-based, which is where you would go spend time with your little out in the community, doing things like going to basketball or football games. And you spend 4 to 6 hours per month. And we ask that you are committed for 1 year. So 1 year commitment, 4 to 6 hours per month. Most of the time, people stay matched. You know, our average match is about 3 years. And a lot of that is because like maybe kids are on the older side, you know, sometimes when kids get to high school or even middle school, they don't want to be in the program anymore, which is okay because we have another program for them. We have the next is a school site-based program. Excuse me. And that is where you would go to the little school for 1 hour per week during the school year. So I'm in a program now called a hybrid. I'm a hybrid community school based because I was community based with my little Strictly, but she was kind of having some problems at school. She was getting bullied and her mom said, can I get her a big that'll go to school also? I said, well, no, they can only have one. It's 1-to-1 mentoring, but you know, her program specialist asked me if I'd be willing to convert my match so we could go, I could go to her school sometimes and I could also spend time with her in the community. So I did the whole background check with the school system and now I go and have lunch with her a couple times a month at school. So that's like our lunch buddy program. So like 1 hour, it's not even an hour, guys. I mean, we give you credit for the hour, but their lunches are only 45 minutes. So you go and you spend 45 minutes, you know, once a week during the school year only. I think all of us, you know, anyone interested, that's a good starting place. Because you don't have to really think too much about what you're going to do with your little, you know, because sometimes for me, like I had a son and I didn't have stepdaughters until they were teenagers. So I really didn't know what to do with girl, to be quite honest. But luckily Natasha likes a lot of the same things I like. She loves sports and she likes to do lots of outdoor stuff. So we have a great time. And our last program is for all of you that might have high school children. We have a program called High School Students as Bigs. And right now we are launching this test program with Centennial High School in Columbia because they are on the same campus still. I don't know how long that's going to keep up, right? Because Columbia's school had a problem, so they moved over to Centennial's campus, and it's been interesting, a high school and an elementary school sharing a campus, to say the least. But I talked to Miss Hindi and Miss Valdez, the two principals, and we decided, yep, that would be a great time, a great place to start really getting kids to join this High School Students as Bigs program, because they can just walk across their own campus. We don't have to worry about transportation or anything. They get credit, like for if they're need any volunteer hours for any of their, you know, honor society, any of their clubs that they're in. I happily will write them a letter saying how many hours they have spent so they can get credit for that. But this little guy in this picture here, some of you might recognize him as Jeremiah Young. I've known him his whole life. He's like was our second high school big. We only have like 4 high school bigs right now. Jeremiah is doing a virtual program, but he's also kind of hybrid because when we host activities, like once a month, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, we host an activity and we invite all of our matches to come. Twice a year, we host activities where we invite all the families to come. Yeah. So that's what we're doing with money that's raised and stuff. But I will tell you, almost 23% stays here in Las Cruces. Money that's raised here stays here. So the other 23% is just because we share staff. I don't have my own office manager. I don't have my own HR manager here. We share that in Santa Fe. But anyway, Jeremiah, this little boy's mom brings him to the events and Jeremiah comes to the events. So they get to see each other that way too. But they meet once a week virtually and they play games on the computer together. And they've been matched for almost 2 years now. So it's pretty special. Okay, before I move on, does anyone have any questions about what I do or the programs we offer?
I do have a question. I'm assuming you do background check.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything. Whenever you have a bid with the kid, is it supervised? Is it in a house? Is it in the center? How is it?
So they're like, it depends on the program. Community-based is not supervised. Like we don't go with them. We do have a rule that for the first 3 months of your match, the little cannot come into your home, you know, and you need to be doing things in public together.
They go to the big home?
After 3 months, they are allowed, a little can go to the big's home. You know, a lot of our bigs, they have other families, right? Like So the little might enjoy hanging out with their family as a whole, but we ask for the first 3 months for the safety of the children, and so they have that time that they can get to know each other one-on-one before they go out and meet the family. So that is what we do with that. So that is, but it's not supervised, but it's monitored. I want to say the first year that you're matched, you check in with your program specialist every month. Like your program specialist is calling and doing what we call match support. And so they call you and they say, how's it going? Any issues? They do the match support with the big, the little, and the parents. So we're asking everyone, like, how's this going? Is it working out? But the site-based, school-based, that is supervised. That has to be like one of our staff doesn't have to be on site for that with the adults, but it is in the school. So it's being supervised by a school staff person. And then high school bigs absolutely has to be supervised by one of our staff, or we will be hiring for this job. They're called site coordinators, which are contractors that people we hire. Maybe it's a teacher, whatever, someone who goes through our background check though too. And they supervise that match every single time. So they can't ever be alone. Like when Jeremiah meets online virtually, one of our staff is also in the Zoom room or whatever. Like, so that's the way that goes with that. But they have to do fingerprinting, criminal background check. We do everything pretty much short of a credit check to get people to be bigs. I mean, it's pretty extensive. And you can attest, right? Like it is not a quick process. Like, I hope all of you say, I want to sign up right this very second and I'll get online and take all your information. That's fine, but it takes time to process it, right? We have to wait on, if you're going into the schools, we have to go through the schools for their background check, but everyone has to be fingerprinted and all that has to be sent in through CYFD, and it's a process. Then you have to go through the interview process, and then there's training. So we don't just say, here's a child, go have fun, so it's extensive, but worth it. And safety first. We have to make sure that everyone's safe.
And they are selective. They've never asked me to be a good. I think you don't want me to go influence the lives of young ones. Your mom
Marcy,
invites you to parent teacher conference. That's true. I don't go to those.
I was going to ask, for those of us that do have children, I would imagine that like it would be a nightmare for me to have like a little and my son, because he's going to fight for my attention, obviously. So I would imagine that it's not recommended that like you need to have one-on-one time with them.
not necessarily. And interestingly enough, so this is something that has been a rule for the whole time.
But we repeat the question sometimes for them.
Oh, yeah. Summer was asking, is it a good idea if you are a parent yourself to be a big? And so it's not a bad idea. It's not a good idea. It depends on how you are, and your own child, right? Like you understand.
Sometimes I would prefer to hang out with other people's children.
Exactly. I mean, most people would say that your kid,
Of my time.
yeah, your kids are always better for everyone else than you, right? And so imagine littles are better for you than they are their parents. So you just have to figure out if that's something that will work for your family. That's why the first 3 months you're bonding only with the little before you introduce your child to them. But like women can be matched with male littles. So you could have a little brother, which, might be cool. Jace might like to hang out with a boy, right? Versus you having a little sister, which is, you might be doing stuff that he doesn't want to do at all. But you know what I mean? But men cannot be matched with female littles. So, and we don't see that changing anytime in the future.
So how do you determine a match? Is it based on personality? Like, what are the things that?
Is there a questionnaire?
Yes. So, yes. So that's part of the paperwork, right, Sandra?
Yeah, there's an interview that's about 2.5 hours and it's very personal, very in-depth, and they ask questions that you may not even be comfortable answering out
Yeah.
loud sometimes. And then you have the questionnaire, and you have a training that lasts another, depending on your schedule and how you can get on it, another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information they know about you. They probably know more about me than I do at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we do get personal. I mean, we can't afford, like, for there to be anything missed when you're talking about kids, right? So, but we do, there's a questionnaire that the big fills out and then that the little fills out with their parent. And it's basically, and the parent fills one out, like, why are you enrolling your child? What do you want to see from this relationship? We ask the bigs, why do you want to be in this relationship? But what do you like to do in your spare time? So with like my husband's match, my husband's also big. He's matched with a boy, they've been matched for almost 4 years now, who literally, they had nothing in common. Zero in common. And I was like, oh man, I asked the program specialist, because I don't do that part. And I stay out of their lane, I try, but I was like, are we sure this is a good idea? I just don't know what they're gonna. And they said, well, Zach indicated he would like to know about sports and he would like to know about business and things like that. So it's been really cool to see their relationship blossom over the last 4 years, because like immediately they went, and I don't know how many of you know my husband, but he's kind of a nerd too though. So like that worked out good, that part, but they went to play basketball on their first like match date. And I was like, I wish I could have been there for that.
Yeah, me too.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. My husband. So I was like, interesting. So they did that several times but they love to go to all the sporting events together. Now, Zach has zero interest in playing sports, but guess what he did in going to the sporting events? He found the band. And so he loves the band, and now he's in Oñate band, and it's been awesome. So he comes over to our house, he likes to play pool, and now I can be there too, like you were saying. We don't do a lot with our littles together, I will tell you, because my little is 7 years old and his is 14. So like they don't have a single thing in common at this stage. So like usually if we have him at the same time, will go somewhere, and I'll be at the house or something, or we'll do something different. Or like last week, they both were there. They both wanted to come over. So Natasha and I baked cookies inside, and he and Zach played pool outside, so it was like, and then we all had dinner together though. So that was, that was kind of cool. But yeah. Any other questions about?
So for the safety of children, whenever you get a child and you see, and maybe he's being abused at home or anything, being a 501c3, are you a mandatory reporter?
Well, we're a mandatory report, not because we're a 501c3, but because we are CYFD affiliated. So we are a mandatory report. So I will say, like, we're not just going to call right then. We're going to do some investigation on our own, like if the big says, the little said something to me, I'm not so sure, like, what I think about this. Can you look into it? And I would say, I'm going to report this to our program director, and she will look into it, and if we need to take it further, we do take it further. But yeah, if a child is bruised or has something, we would report immediately, if it's evident abuse.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be
No,
it's just that I come from a church,
absolutely.
which is a fan of
Yes.
501c3, that we had a lot of cases of child abuse and
Yeah.
things like that. So that's.
I mean, I'm gonna knock on wood, because in the 4 years I've been here, I had one where I thought I was gonna have to report myself on something, but luckily it wasn't what it seemed. But, even with my own little, sometimes she tells me stuff and I'm like, would I want to do that as a parent? Would I no, you know what I mean? But like, I can't judge her circumstances, but I'm not worried for her safety. It's just not the way I would do things, so I just keep an eye on it. I tell the program, because I have my match is monitored too. I have a program specialist. I will tell her, Natasha said something, I don't really like it. Can you just talk to her mom about it? So I don't have the confrontation like with her mother about something, but and she knows they're trained on how to ask the questions in the right way. So yes, ma'am.
Do you have this in the community-based program that only take their littles to they don't ever take them?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I figured, but like,
No, I mean, yeah, you are not required to allow a little into your home. I mean, yeah, no, a lot of people,
I haven't taken mine, I have big dogs. and
Yeah, I have a
I've
big
taken
dog.
on stuff.
yeah,
I got to the house, not, they haven't got to mine.
I was just.
yeah, no, a lot of people, like we have college students, right, that are bigs and they don't really have them, like, yeah. So they're like, don't want to take the little to their house, their roommates or their dorm or whatever. So no, yeah, that's absolutely, and there's plenty to do. And as a big, like, a lot of people don't know this, and I just talked to our program team about it. So I'm like, I don't feel like we're doing a very good job explaining to bigs like about the tax write-off. You know, because tax season just came up and I was doing all of ours. So like you can write off mileage whenever you go spend time to big, because we are a 501c3, you can write off meals and entertainment, a percentage of that. Like if you pay for their meal, because that is another thing. If you are a community-based big and you choose to take your little to a movie, you can't expect them to pay. You have to pay unless we've given you a gift card or something. Like I give gift cards out a lot. You know, so yeah. Anything else? Yes, yes, ma'am.
So I'm more like a grandma age now.
Yeah,
So.
I can't wait to be a grandma and I'm 44. So yeah.
Like. Yeah.
No. Okay, no, but let me, this is interesting. Well, I'm gonna do cocktail. Well, grandma does too. No, it's interesting that you asked that question because we do have a program 55 plus. Because actually, we are a huge retirement community. Like our whole entire state of New Mexico is one big retirement community. So we do have a lot of people over the age of 55 that are excellent bigs. And you know why? Because a lot of them are retired or semi-retired and they have time. And guess what? The child you might get, maybe they don't have a grandma figure in their life and they really are lacking that. That's one of the things we find out when we ask the questions, you know? So yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, if you're on your deathbed and you're really, really old and I'm gonna have to say probably not, but no, you're doing just fine. Yeah, you're right. But speaking of wheelchairs, we do accept handicapped people. Like I have one of our best bigs is wheelchair bound. You know, he's wonderful. And then I feel bad, like he came to Rio Grande Theater with his little to bring him to a play we went to, but no one told me he was coming. And so I'm like, didn't reserve the wheelchair space for him. And so, but he's super, they had to sit apart. It was a whole thing, but he was very gracious and awesome about it. And they have a very cool, close relationship. And he can drive though. You know, he's wheelchair bound, but he is able to drive. He brings them everywhere. They come to everything. Well, they've been matched for probably 4 or 5 years now. But yeah. Sorry, I know oh, and here's my little. That's some pictures of me and Natasha. From when we first met. Like I think the top right one, she's pretty little, and the bottom right one was just at her school for our first lunch meeting. But those are some things we do. That top one is we do every Halloween, you know, we'll do a Halloween activity, pumpkin carving. Pharmacia they graciously donate pumpkins for us, and we do food, and we so yeah, and that's us. I think we're dyeing eggs or baking. Dyeing eggs, okay. Yeah, she's adorable. A little spitfire, man. She's getting sassy, but she's adorable. All right, the need. So this is where I tell you like exactly what we need right now. And actually it's 12. I have 12 littles on our waiting list right now that are ready to be matched, boys and girls, mostly boys, because we get more referrals of boys and we get more women that volunteer. So it's like, but we know, look at all of us. We all volunteer. We volunteer for lots of things all the time, right? So if any of you are interested, we do have children that are ready to be matched. Now, we wouldn't just say we have 12 kids. Oh, 12 of you just volunteered. Let's go meet them right now. You'd still have to do the process, and maybe you're not a match for any of them, you know, and that's okay, because we'd rather make a quality match and keep them on the waiting list a little bit longer than match you with a child you have like that it's not going to work out, because that's heartbreaking to have to end a match because it's not a good fit. You know, it has happened, and it's okay if it happens, you know. If you get matched and it's not a good fit, say something, you know, because that has happened twice since I've been here. And it's like, oh man, but we've rematched both parties and everyone's happy. I scrolled through all that stuff. Sorry. Okay. Hey, how can you get involved? I'm going the wrong way again. Again, sorry. You could get involved by volunteering, donating, or participating in one of our events. Coming up next Friday, which is the same day as the Mother's Day thing, is our Golf for Kids' Sake golf tournament.
There's an afternoon flight. y'all.
There's an afternoon flight, but we are on a waiting list right now. Many of you in this room are already participating, so thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome to just show up and get her money and drink at the club.
Yeah, please, I'll email the link. We have a wonderful auction coming together that will be online, so. And then we have, oh God, thank you, Stacy, for this one. Stacy used to be the CEO, like she used to be me back in the day. So yes, we changed our things. I'm not CEO. My CEO is in Santa Fe, but mud volleyball. I'm sure you've all heard about this. This is like, it's amazing. Like, it's amazing. I love it so much. And so does Marcy. We don't love it. It's like, I said when I got hired, the first thing I'm going to do is never have that event ever again. It's like a nightmare waiting to happen. There's like, there's so much, I'm like a risk assessor running around all day going, put your shoes on. Oh my God. Like, be
It
careful.
looks like a giant mud fest hit our entire community.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it is incredible. We've grown so much, like we're up to 12 courts now. So that means like 1,200 people come to this thing.
They all bring their own cars.
No, and then I'm trying not to, yeah, they're supposed to. They're supposed to. But anyway, if you are interested,
It's behind Marcy's house.
Yeah.
Not behind.
well, it's at the Picacho Peak Brewery.
Yeah.
And so we're right. Marcy lets our volunteers park there, did, so they block her in because they don't follow instructions.
Forklift every year.
It's true. I'm like, I don't know what to say. We need a ton of volunteers for this event because it will not happen. I have 1,200 people out there, so that means I need about 200 volunteers. I mean, it's a huge thing and it's already filling up. It's insane. I had to tell my IT person in Santa Fe, I need that mud volleyball site up. I know golf's not even over, but I need that site running because I have people wanting to register every day, calling me about mud volleyball. Someone texted me at 9 o'clock the other night about mud volleyball. I was like, also it's 9. And yes, it's on September 9th. I'll take your money now. All right, and then it is a great event. It's fun. Good team building event. You like my enthusiasm? All right, that's all I have. Does anyone have anything else for me?
So going back to our theme for the quarter was impact.
Yes.
You talked briefly about how, you wanted to do something, something different, something special to be giving back. How has your outlook changed just going from, for profit to nonprofit? How's that affected you personally? Talk about the impact that it's made on you. as a
Yeah.
person.
For sure. So if Summer wants me to talk about the impact it's made on me. It's
You're
huge.
much friendlier. I'm just kidding.
I am. No, I am. I mean, there's a multifaceted situation there, but yes, no, I am. I'm happy. I love what I do, right? Like, I really love what I do. Like I said, I was good at what I did before, but I didn't love it anymore. It was like when I used to do mortgage, when I first started, I'd get someone in a house and we'd like celebrate every closing. And then by the end of it, it's like on to the next one. Congratulations, here's your gift card. And it just like didn't feel right to me anymore. So yes, I know I've made an impact on this agency because I see it. We've grown, very little profit before I got here, like in fundraising, and obviously all that's grown. We've grown our board. I have just literally, I say all the time, I have the best board in town. Stellar members on my board right now. And so there, I feel like we make an impact. But for me, Kiel and I give to everything. We still do. We give to lots of other organizations all the time. It's important to us to give back, to our community. And we don't take it for granted, our blessings ever. But being this personal to it and seeing, things happen, seeing Natasha flourish, like we gave money to her baseball team and it was different than like if someone's kid said, you want to sponsor or whatever.
Yeah.
It just feels different and I know they need it. I know exactly where they're coming from and so I don't know what else. I mean, it just evidently it has.
Well, I didn't mean that you were friendlier, but
No, I am. No, I am.
But I can tell that you are happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am happier. for many reasons, but yes. This job is one of them for sure. I mean, do I love it all the time? Anyone in nonprofit will tell you, why are we here? Like, what are we doing? Because a lot of days, yes, ma'am, like, what's happening right now? I bought 2 purses. I wish you brought them today. But anyway, you just look and you're like, what is going on? Why did that happen? Why is it so hard? Why don't people appreciate it? Why aren't people volunteering? And I know why they should, but why isn't it happening? And what do we need to do differently to be more attractive to more people? I give stuff away all the time. I'm like, I know, let's do this. Everybody gets a shirt. Here's a gift card, come on over, whatever, but.
Y'all have a chapter in Elmo?
So the chapter in Alamo there is one, but it's under Central New Mexico, oddly enough. Yep.
Okay.
So they kept Alamogordo and let us, the rest of the part of the state go, but yeah.
But I think another point, like for all of my new ones, must get closer to the owl. Anyway, for all my new ones, one of the things that I think made a huge difference in what Beth has been able to accomplish compared to a prior person, not Stacy, that's been able to accomplish is the fact that she has used her networking and her social connections and all that to really help further, her nonprofit. And yes, the mission is pure and it is beautiful and it is just, but the networking and the fact that she'd been in our community for a long time and she knew a lot of people and had a lot of friends and did all of that stuff really does help. So, to tie that into kind of what we do in the education and networking part, it really does make a difference, especially when you're in nonprofit land, especially when you do that, it makes a difference. So people know the people you can contact,
Sorry.
that kind of stuff really does. And Beth's done a great job of utilizing that and, making more people in the community aware of her mission and what they do, and also making it something that is on, a line item on our budget for giving. That's a
For
big
sure.
difference.
Well, it is. And I left one event out. Should have made a flyer, but I can't even think about Christmas trees right now. We do a Christmas tree auction. I'd love for all of you to come in November. But November 9th or something, it's early before
They're not
Thanksgiving.
gonna RSVP, don't tell me
Yeah, don't RSVP yet. I can't, I gotta get past these other 2. But anyway, I am lucky because like I said, my husband has a very giving heart and he helps me, like he'll say to all of his board members, hey, Beth has an event coming up. What are you gonna do? Like, you wanna participate? You wanna give her some money? So it's nice. But then I, in turn, like I say, I tell my friends this all the time, like sometimes I'm Beth, nonprofit director, business person, and then sometimes I'm Keel's wife, the banker's wife, and I have to do, wear those hats separately. Sometimes I get to wear them at the same time, but and that's okay because the roles fit and it's good. He helps me, I help him, and that's part of what the supportive spouse thing was I was talking about in the beginning. So it's new to me. But anyone else? No?
Who wants to do a background check?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I love it. I thank you for that. And I promise you can find the time to do it because it's like, I don't know, it's quick and it's 4 to 6 hours per month. Sometimes that's only one activity. Sometimes, that's seeing them one time. We like for you to see them twice if you can, but sometimes you're going to do something like it's going to be a long day. You might go to White Sands, you have all that time in the car to talk, spend a couple hours out there. We don't expect you to do more than you're able to do, but 4 hours, I think most of us can find besides Marcy. She can't find the time. Not that I wouldn't take her. Can't find the time.
I probably around small children or animals.
You're right. Okay,
I know.
thank you.
Thank you. I also want to thank Beth. Beth has been a member of the association since we started. We do have nonprofit memberships and she's been super supportive for us as well. And we really appreciate that from you. We're gonna call you out too, to make sure you're signing up for her stuff. I will say, Debbie, if you want to real quick, just have an announcement about the 6 steps of power, the purse that you
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
we had-
you.
we had the biggest-
Such a good job. We had a great turnout. Thank you guys for sharing all the information. It was incredible. As of right now, we've raised about $30,000. Thank you. For some of the persons that didn't sell, we're gonna relaunch. My cook is writing an article on the, well, for the, I think this fall. So we're gonna reopen a second chance option from the 12th to the 16th with the persons that are left over. The sell or buy in are going to their clients, our parents who are earning points to shop in the boutique now buying those persons. And then after that, we have somebody who wants to buy the whole lot and then sell it and make a donation. Thank you, guys.
So Alamo ladies, I don't know if you could hear what she just said, but the Power of the Purse, Trish, it did super well, but they had so many donations. They're going to be doing a second auction for some of the name brand bags. So as soon as we have that link, ladies, it's an online auction. And so. Oh, you, okay, never mind.
Don't give mine away.
I'll stop repeating. The owl's working better today than usual.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, I'll come back later.
I forgot to have y'all introduce yourselves at the very beginning because I got nervous about time with Alamo. So if y'all want to just quickly go through, we can. Everyone knows best. She just talked for a long time. Huh?
Is Alamo done?
She muted, she'll mute us. Trisha just turns us off whenever she's like, they're talking about something. Go ahead. Yep. please.
Brooke Montgomery from the Arrowhead Center, comes to you. Farrah Marcus from First American Bank.
There's one of our sponsors.
So Brooke,
Word out. Oh. Yeah.
go ahead. Bea.
Ronnie, go with me. You guys property.
Hi.
Somebody asked me about, was it someone here that looking for the balloon lady? No, okay, somebody had an event and asked me. Yeah. She goes, she's fine with the balloon lady, she's. Yeah.
Little realtors, they're regarding stock market, but also.
My name is Marie Salazar, and I'm the program coordinator at the Autism Diagnostic Center on MSU campus. It's strongly physical therapist and online health and fitness for over.
Rainbow,
I'm sorry.
you're okay?
Yes.
Cause she could, right over here.
Oh, yes, Tanya Verla, Comcast Business.
We'll go around. this way.
And some student graduating next week and. And we're prayer. I'm Saya Disharali. I'm a graduate student at NMSU. I work for Arrowhead Center.
Dr. Rosanna Massey, I'm your Mexico's leading expert in energy psychology and EFT tapping.
Hi, Rachel Livingston with Arrowhead Center.
That's for Arrowhead. I'm Sandy Ringwood. I am with Arrowhead Center, but I do innovation, which is people who entrepreneurship.
We have some of you guys with the net.
Hello, my name is Young and Title.
I am selling it also going in.
I'm Jennifer. These are two of our escrow officers at their title. I am now the division president of the 3 branches.
Jennifer just got a promotion. I haven't seen her the last couple of years. We're trying to- Congrats, honey.
Thank you.
And I'm
We were just at Moss Club over their event over the weekend. Thank you again for having us.
Thank you for doing it. I'm Sandy, I'm the marketing specialist with Adam. Debbie Taylor. Pedro with and the Smith with Pioneer Bank. Brady. Anna with Pioneer Bank. Carol with Select. And.
My backup IT.
But I'm the office manager for the. Thank for it, and for as well, being celebrating our 46th year anniversary.
I heard one of these family is coming up too.
Yes, he just turned it out.
Melissa Dunbar, co-owner of DC Involved Construction. Stacy Allen, community engagement manager for Trestle. Getting more presidency over. Just celebrated my 7th anniversary.
So, I also tell you, we're gonna do just calling out every time for group photos. I started issuing press releases and the bulletin loves it, so they're always running them. So I always need, new pictures. And it's also nice when there's a committee of us, so, and we like to do it to thank our speaker as well. So can we all come up front?
Picture time.